Hi there, that's right. Guess who's the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day, Nick Dutch, back on the camera again one more time for another delightful tarot reading. As I'm sure you've guessed on this YouTube channel, I tend to do tarot readings. That's essentially the entertainment service I am providing for you today. I will say, yes, this is tarot readings by request. It's not on demand, okay, so you can't demand one and then I must do it for you straight away. It doesn't work like that. Essentially, you give me the questions, which means that I can then create the content for you. And that's the way around it works. Also, don't leave your questions in the comment section. Alright, naughty, 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 alright, because I want to make sure I'm doing them in order, I'm keeping everything structured, so everything has to be by private message. I'm sorry to have to lay down rules here, but it's just so much easier for me to be able to keep everything structured and ordered and organised, and to make sure that I'm not doing the same reading or the same inquiry twice and all that kind of stuff. It's just keep everything straightforward. So this YouTube channel, Nick Dutch Tarot, and then quite frankly send me a private message and I'll be happy to add you to the roster basically. Now, using the Book of Thoth Tarot, because I keep it to hand, it's the one I use for my telephone tarot readings, internet tarot readings, email tarot readings, even SMSs I'm doing at the moment as well. And all of that is via one of the agencies that I'm a member of here in the UK. So I try and provide you with a wide variety of different ways of getting in touch. The only place you can get the free readings is here on YouTube, okay? I have had some people contacting me via Keen and Live Person to request free readings there. Unfortunately, no, they are paid inquiries. The other thing I will say, just very quickly, is if your inquiry is too long, let's say a couple of pages of A4's worth, okay, I'm probably not going to do it. With a really, really long inquiry, it would be best to tackle that on a call rather than just a short couple of minutes here on the video. And I'm sorry about that. I would also say that if you want a reading, then it's good to ask a question. If you don't have a question to ask, then I'm going to find it quite hard to do the reading itself. I do want to make sure I'm trying to focus in just on what you're after, really. Now, the first inquiry today is from someone who identifies themselves as Maggie, and she's inquiring about her current relationship. What she didn't do was to tell me what her question was, and this is one of those which I'm going to find rather difficult. So I'll look relatively generally using my standard 8-card relationship reading. We'll see what kind of thoughts, feelings, moods, energies, and all the rest of that appear for Maggie today. Just a second, please. Alright, well, I've been shuffling quite thoroughly, as I'm sure you can tell. I always do that, okay? But even when I do that, sometimes we get some similarities or recurring signs coming through, which is, of course, rather bizarre. But never mind. Let's have a look at the relationship. Okay, the first thing I will say is the individual you're dealing with has love for you. We can see that. We've got some cup signs there as well. But there's also a sense of frustration and possibly a feeling of distraction. This is an individual who, despite the fact the emotions are in the right place, as is evident within the Queen of Cups, may feel that there is something outside of the relationship that they want to focus on a little too much. I don't feel that they've explained their needs to you properly, and as a direct result of that, it's very difficult for you to feel that the relationship is necessarily moving forward in the right direction and in the right way. I mean, there is communication there, that's okay, but this is also a rather sanguine individual, someone who feels quite happy in their own little bubble, and hasn't really taken into account the fact that you want to try and generate progress. I mean, it's quite a tender, quite a loving relationship on some levels, but not on all levels. That's why the Empress card is reversed, I feel, because it's trying to communicate a message that there is some kind of difficulty here and things aren't quite working out according to plan. But that desire to protect, that desire to look after, that desire to keep things in check seems to already be quite strong. Now, on your side of things, it's rather weird. We have the lightly struck tower, which is essentially talking about instability or a feeling of instability, coupled with the Seven of Swords. Now, generally speaking, that's not looking very positive, because it's looking at the way in which you're feeling about things at the moment. Although you've already got a lot of hope there, as was present within the Empress, so you feel you can try and make it really, really work out right. There's a touch of self-doubt there, and there's a feeling that is this other individual, the one who's a little sanguine and a little proud of themselves, is that individual interacting with you properly? So it must feel very difficult for you, but it is still a relationship, and in the here and now, there are some differences. I mean, there are some similarities there, and there's some things holding you together, but there's also some differences as well. And I feel from your side of things, maybe you focus on the difficulties a bit too much. Well, we'll just have to see how the rest of the reading sort of develops with the passage of time, and see where we can go from there. Okay, well, bit of a combination there. And again, a blend of the rough and the smooth, but I feel that the strongest signs which are really shining through are here in the Three of Coins. Now that's incredibly valuable, it's incredibly strong, incredibly powerful. Why is that so important? Because it's talking about putting effort in. Okay, there's a sense of objectivity applied to the relationship, which is essentially talking about trying to get a better perspective, so that you can then make things work out right. But it's also talking about action being taken. And if action was going to be taken, then we'd expect signs that were rather fiery coming out later in the reading. So thanks to the fact we've got the Three of Coins there, the rest of the reading is actually starting to look not too bad. I mean, we've still got some negatives coming up, which is there within the within, I think it's the Nine of Swords there. Okay, and that negativity could be something to do with him not quite, opening up and focusing on what's really rather needed there. But I feel that there is change. The willingness for there to be change is on both sides of things. So there will come a time within the next 6 months in which you'll start to have converged much more. I mean, if your question was something simple like, is there still love there? I would have to say yes, and quite yes categorically. This is definitely someone who loves you. So you've got some of the emotional aspects in place. Obviously there's emotions, there's also thoughts and feelings, there's also ideologies, and of course there's actions. So a relationship is very, very complex. And these are things you've got to pay attention to when you're trying to steer a proper relationship situation further forward. Anyway, that's my take on basically what's happening in your relationship at this present point in time. I hope that's made some sense to you. Okay, we've got someone whose YouTube channel is GreenElf12, who's interested in a particular individual that they've got some feelings for at work. There's a bit of an age gap, so obviously there's something there which might not necessarily be positive, taking into account the bigger picture, but there's also something bubbling on in the background. So let's just have a quick look, we'll see what the reading says and take it one step at a time, okay? Alright, so shuffling like mad as per usual, Book of Thoth Tarot, standard 8-card relationship reading, focusing in on this particular issue to see whether there can be some progress. Okay. Alright, with the first 4 cards, the sensation is it's not too bad, but it's nowhere near the level of there being progress. I mean, Green Elf on your side of things towards this individual, the sensation is a very strong desire to communicate, but also a strange feeling of restriction. There is something which is getting in the way there. This is an individual who seems to reflect something inside you, and also someone who seems to have got over something which you seem to still be struggling with to a certain degree. Does that make any sense? On their side of things, very professional, very staid, very sedate, and also a sense of there being a bit of a wall around them. This is an individual who's not very good at opening up and being further, able to actually get progress straight away. So it looks like it could be difficult as far as trying to get progress going between the two of you, but we don't really know how that's going to happen until we turn over the next card, which is essentially the forces between you. It's the one that goes between those 4 cards. Now, typically speaking, it will be cup signs to do with love and the promise of affection and all the rest of that. You're not there yet. You've got a long way to go before it becomes good enough for me to be able to turn around to you and say yes, from the here and now part of the reading, which is the first 5 cards, that there is going to be a relationship impending. You're not there yet. The communication signs, though, on your side of things, you're the one who's got to express love in some manner, but very slowly. The individual you're talking about is very conservative. I don't mean that in a negative political way. I mean in terms of restriction, not necessarily wanting to engage socially apart from for professional reasons, so very functional. And so the energy between the two of you, you're more the empathic one, and she's more the stable one. Okay? Now let's expand the reading just a little further and see what kind of things are coming through. A bit of a change in the wind, so to speak. what I'm seeing here is a sense of communication which is going to bring about some variety of result. We have some passion there, so I feel that the emotions are going to get a bit hotter to a certain degree within 3 months from now, which is a step in the right direction. You're no longer on the zero part of the dial, so to speak. And there's also a sense of some potential for something of an almost miraculous nature to appear. So the potential is starting to look better, maybe after 2 to 3 months, or maybe 2 to 4 months, roughly speaking, okay? There is still some fear of rejection from this individual. So I would say that it will be worthwhile taking it slowly and easily and being a very good friend, because I think that's probably what this individual is after. Whether things can develop further from that point in time, that I'm not sure about. And I'm going to be honest with with you about that. But essentially, it looks like it's a slow progress, strong, restrained, restricted friendship connection, rather than one that's going to leap onto the, all baby sort of like passionate sort of snuggling up in the dead of the night kind of feeling, if you get my drift. So, one step at a time. Okay, we got Nancy Lim 8, I think is the YouTube channel name. I might have got that wrong, but never mind. And she's looking, wants me to have a look for finance, career, and home. So, let's just have a quick look, see what's coming through for the great and glorious, soon to be famous one day Nick Dutch today. Okay, let's just have a quick peek for you. This will be the chronological spread. There's obviously certain signs that I'd expect to come forward if there's positive developments, and some that I'd expect to come up if there's negative developments, generally speaking. But this is another question in which I have not properly been asked a question. This is a question in which I've been given things to look into to see what basically can come through. If I was to look purely financially, great things between 2 and 4 months from now, which will be a funny time of the year if you think about it, for really good financial things to occur, because around about the holiday season, that's when all the money gets sucked out of our bank accounts rather than gets put into our bank accounts. So I don't know what's kind of like in the pipeline there for you, but it looks like there's been something that's been simmering around, which has the potential to actually provide you with something good in the longer term. And it's reaching fruition towards the tail end of this very year. So that's really rather interesting and intriguing. I would say that you've got things to look forward to on the financial side of things, brought about by career. It appears that, those signs could easily be talking about more of a knowledge of stability rather than necessarily more of a knowledge of success. I'm asking myself, is that essentially saying you're going to be earning twice the quantity of money you are at the moment? I'm not sure if it does. I feel that you're going to be able to feel calmer financially. I would say that you will be in a better space financially, and that's obviously a very good thing. But as far as is it going to be a massive leap up, I don't know. Now, you also asked about home. The very end of the reading, we've got two signs which are fascinating: the Five of Coins and the Magician. The Five of Coins speaks about worry and anxiety and fear and that kind of thing, but the Magician speaks about something new happening. The timeline here is maybe 8 to 12 months down the line from now, when I would say you've been in a stronger position of stability, so you can start to plan something else or something different, which is more akin to where you want your life to go. You asked about home. Is this to do with a house move? Again, you did not actually describe that. But those are the kind of signs I'd expect to get if there was a house move, because there's all the worry and anxiety beforehand, and then there's a massive new beginning shortly afterwards. You're definitely going through a transitional phase somehow to do with your home life, but it's not happening immediately. So you've got greater stability in the short-ish term future. The medium-term future signs, not too much in the way of worry and anxiety there. You did ask about your family as well. Well, the signs there are just talking about keeping everything in balance, looking after everything, and actually trying to enjoy life. So it looks like you'll be able to bring a bit of light into your family environment at about that time. So that's looking quite interesting, basically. But I don't see anything to really be of massive concern there. Obviously if you come back and ask me a more specific question, I'll be happy to have a look into that for you. But the general compass direction you're moving in does still seem to be okay. Just carry on spinning those plates, basically. Hello, that's right, the Goth Star Medium Luna is back yet again. Just wants to quickly check in to see whether she's going to get the job that she's been after, okay? Think we've had a look at this one before, not too sure, can't remember. Never mind, on with the reading. We'll just have a very quick look to see what's coming through. Standard four card, single question, single answer type thing. Alright, well, the signs we've got here, 4 of staves. Indolence. That in its own right is talking about a sense of wanting to try and achieve something, but feeling some kind of restriction and not necessarily being able to move further forward. You're going to get a communication, and you're going to have to react to that communication appropriately in order to try and get the progress that you need. Finally, we've got 6 of Cups and the Lover's card. 6 of Cups is brilliant, it's fascinating, because that's talking about happiness, a sense of joy, a sense of well-being. And the Lover's card is talking about transition into a new state. Okay? So, this is coming out with a yes, but it's coming out with a yes on the basis that you react appropriately to some form of communication that will be given to you. So bear that in mind. P. Sweeney, 1990, wants to know whether she should follow the path of acting, music, or the paranormal. And which one of these will actually be appropriate for the longer term goal. Just bear with me a second, please. Let's just have a quick look. There we go for music, there we go for acting, and there we go for the paranormal. The thing that concerns me about the idea of trying to turn the paranormal into your career is we've got some pretty negative signs about that. But is that negative completely? No. I think that's negative financially. I don't think that that's a career for you. I think that's an interest for you. And the thing that makes me feel strongly that it's an interest for you is we have love signs associated with it. You're going to carry on enjoying somehow being associated with the paranormal. It's not your career. On the subject of the acting, interesting signs of more knowledge to be gained, more skills to be built up. But that's looking very positive as being a possible career for you. The music, on the other hand, that's more of a stability thing in the sideline. Maybe you'll be able to do gigs, or maybe you'll be able to do a recording and sell that over the internet. But essentially, I think the music will be will factor mainly in your life to be able to keep yourself going. Acting in general is much more where you could be going that could provide you with the strongest future. So I feel very happy about that. I feel very strong about that, and I would focus your life in that direction. But don't completely rub out the music side of things, because I think that's also pretty important, okay? Okay, AV949 is involved in a relationship with an individual which is a bit emotional, a bit intense. You know, there's some things happening there which basically shouldn't if the relationship was supposed to be like, all, you know, working out according to plan, basically. So let's just see what kind of thoughts, feelings, moods and energies appear for AV949. Standard 8 card relationship reading, standard temperature and pressure, so to speak. See what kind of things are appearing here. Yeah, straight out. I mean, it's an 8 card relationship reading. We just dealt out half the cards. On her side of things, strong sense of conflict, strong sense of worry and anxiety. This is an individual who's perpetually in a state of inner conflict. They're always dealing with their own problems. I also feel that there's a bit of projection going on there, namely accusing you of having the problems that she herself has, and that's really causing the problems. I mean, on your side of things, you can be very loving, you can be very stable, you've actually given to the relationship really rather a lot. There's, again, we've got nurturing signs coming through and very strong loving signs, so you've got all the heart. She's got a lot of intelligence, but she's not really applying that to herself. She's not really structuring her thoughts, you know, sitting down with pen and paper and starting to think about where things could be going. Now let's open the reading up and look at the forces between you. Stability. This is an individual who's going to be around with you for a long period of time. So I don't sense anything totally negative or unpleasant happening there either. I feel that there is some potential for longer term progress and development already. And this kind of like complex emotional side of things is going to pipe down. Now progression, short term, mid term, long term, future. Very good in your mid term future, and again it's loaded with loving signs. So essentially the stability aspect of the relationship is there. The emotional stability will come about. I feel so. It's your midterm future signs between 3 and 6 months down the line from now, which is looking the best. And you just got to be patient and sweep a lot of crap under the carpet in order for you to actually be happier in the long term. I would say that this is beautiful in the bigger picture. In the here and now, these little squabbles, put them aside. It's not what you need to think about right now. You need to think about the forces between the two of you, which is stability, consistency, acceptance, and moving further forward. Okay, Love Puppy 16 in a very complex relationship and wants to see whether this particular complex relationship is over or not. So let's just have a quick look and see basically what's coming through for you. Just a second, please. Obviously, I understand the background of the relationship because it's been given to me in a private message, but essentially that's only the tip of the iceberg. Now, what would I expect to get if there was complete destruction here? I would have signs of complete destruction. I would have the Death card appearing in certain key parts of the reading, surrounded by other specific signs. I would have the Lightning Struck Tower, again, somehow connected to other specific signs that would be creating the sense of things are completely over. Do I have that here? No, I've got the Ace of Cups for the forces between the two of you. What the hell does that mean? He still loves you. He's a jackass. He still loves you. He is an individual who wants to see himself as being in charge. He's going through a lot of internal strife, doesn't quite know what he wants, is unaware of the passage of time, and is making mistakes. And he's also a bit too intelligent for his own good, so he thinks he's right. The short-term future will show that he is not right. On your side of things, you're the wisdom. So, the love's still there, okay? He's in conflict. You're the wisdom. No signs of destruction. It's not over. Let's expand the reading further forward, see what kind of thoughts, feelings, moods, and energies are appearing there. Short-term, mid-term, long-term. Short-term, passion, confusion, anxiety, trying to generate the right variety of feelings, trying to fight for what is right through the normal means, for instance, communication. After that bad conflict period, we're going to into a state of truce, a state of mutual agreement. He's going to admit the fact he's done something wrong. He's going to try and sweep that under the carpet. You will then find that emotionally difficult to deal with, but you will then come to terms with it, and there'll be the opportunity for progress, and finally we've got signs of success. This is not over. He's being a silly Billy, and he will eventually realize it. It's not going to happen immediately, and it's going to be rather emotionally trying in order for everything to be sorted out. So, again, take it one step at a time. It's complex because he's complex, and he's decided to make matters worse. And I don't think he means any harm, but essentially this is where his head is at the moment. And if that's where his head is at the moment, then that's where his head is at the moment. And I think he's going to change. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, Athena Abbey. She's a photographer, and she wants me to essentially look into her life. This is not a situation where I haven't been asked a proper question. So, to make life easier for me, you're getting these readings for free, okay? Make my life a little easier, and let's have some more specific questions. Okay, let's just have a quick look. Celtic Cross Star reading this time. So what we've done in this particular tarot show, we've had the standard 8-card relationship readings, we've had a 6-card chronological spread, we've had a 4-card yes and no spread, and now we're going to move on to the Celtic Cross. So obviously you can see I do try and put some variability into the styles that I'm doing in order to try and deliver the various messages to you today, okay? Here we go. Thoroughly shuffled as before. 2 signs for the forces around you, which is dealing with your inner character and your outer character, which is very creative and very precise, meticulous, and scientific. I feel that you like order and structure because the order and structure keeps you grounded. Your creative urges tends to push you, all over the place. There's so many things you want to achieve with your artwork. It's not just a question of snapping people, it's not just a question of portraiture. Obviously you want to provide for your customers, but now it's a question of where else can this go? Is there a way of creating some specific messages? Is there something in the zeitgeist which you want to capture and portray? Are there other ways in which you can turn this not just into a job, but into an art form of a different type? That's what I'm getting for you right now. Subconsciously and consciously, touch of frustration, touch of feeling of a weight on your shoulders. You got too much going on there. The feeling is that of being controlled but wanting to fight back. But it's the sense of being controlled. You know, you're trying to keep yourself emotionally on balance. Creative people have got many more desires that they wish to be able to manifest in the world, and I think that's where you are at the moment. Maybe you're constrained by the restrictions of your current market niches, which you have to stay in so that you can carry on paying for your bread and butter. But on the other hand, you'll need to experiment a little more on the side just to try and work out where else you can take your art from. Oh dear, reflection on the past. It was very hard for you to get to where you are now. The sense is that of being held back, being given bad advice and having to fight against that so that you can get down to the truth and try and work up from there. Okay, the anticipation of the future signs are very pleasurable, very, well, it says love here, of course, because it's the Two of Cups, but that's not love as in something of the heart. This is love as in terms of loving what you do, being in the right place at the right time, having the right kind of alakazam about the work that you're doing. Now let's have a quick look and see how the reading is portraying the changes. And you're going to go through a lot of changes over the next 12 months, because I feel that this particular time of your life, from the autumn or the fall, whatever you want to call it, of the year 2010, is where you're starting to reform yourself. We saw in that part of the reading, the main part of the reading, so to speak, which deals with yourself, that's drive towards applying your creativity in different directions so that you can try and bring about the right quality of results. So, short-term future, a lightning-struck tower, namely a seeming but complete destruction of everything that you've done. That doesn't mean you destroy the files or you burn your photographs or whatever. No, this is talking about your skills. You've got the skills, it's now a question of changing them. It's going to feel like a complete transition. But when you have a complete transition, it's not completely a metaphorical death now, is it? No, it's change. Alright, searching for more information. The Hangman card often deals with a sense of treachery, so of course because of your past experiences you're going to be a little wary about the people who you take advice from. Long-term future signs, that's like summer of next year, summer of 2011, very good indeed as far as change is concerned. And you're going to carry on artistically applying your skills. So I would say that you're going to carry on doing the aspects of your photography business that you're doing at the moment. Yes, do a bit more studying and researching in your spare time. Try and work out what else you can do. Try and contact other people who are relevant to the fields you wish to go into. And then to steadily and surely bring yourself into those fields step by step and onwards into the future. That's the way I'm seeing your artistically kind of like changing and developing. So I would enjoy the progress, enjoy the journey, and I feel that you'll be able to maintain your stability as well. So keep cool, relax, chill out, and enjoy. Okay, now that's all the readings I'll be doing for today. Remember, if you want to be added to the rota, please ask me a question. Please, pretty please, with sugar on top, or sweetener if you don't actually take sugar. Okay. Alright, and please don't leave your requests in the comment section. It's very irritating and it's not all that nice, is it? No, send them through on private message. Much nicer. Yeah, much more appropriate. Okay? Now remember that legally speaking a tarot reading is sold as an entertainment service. This is for good common sense reasons. You should never see one particular individual as being the single purveyor of truth. You are the final decision maker in your life. You must remember that, every single one of you out there. Please do subscribe, because there's lots of reasons to watch other people's readings as well. And basically, you yourself can get pleasure from seeing what other people think and say and the questions that they ask, and maybe that can actually elaborate more upon your life. Bottom line is, who knows, okay? So, yes, I'm looking forward to your inquiries, and we'll speak again very soon. Good fortune, God bless. Nick Dutch signing out for now.